Jim, thank you. In a highly unusual courtroom move, accused murderer Johnathan Quiles told his trial judge today he doesn't think the jury should be away from their families and be sequestered while considering a potential penalty should he be convicted. He's charged with raping and killing his niece, Ayanna Sawyer. At the current pace, attorneys estimate the trial will go through the end of this week and possibly into next week. News 4 Jax reporter Marilyn Parker is joining us live from the Duval County Courthouse. Marilyn, the big development today, the state established a timeline of Quiles' movements at his job the day the Terry Parker High School student disappeared.
Yes, you got to focus on the two key days. December 19th, as you said, the day the high school student disappeared. And also we noticed that Quiles left his shift and did not clock out. We don't know exactly where he went, but according to the surveillance video from Terry Parker High School, it's the same hour that Ayanna Sawyer was last seen. And then also you have to look at December 20th and his movements at work. It was a rainy day. Johnathan Quiles arrives to work at about 7:44 a.m. He goes to the normal employee parking lot. Then he's seen going into the office, then coming out wearing a full body rain suit. It's a very bright color. He gets into a tractor, then starts moving this red car. Then he changes the forks of the tractor to a bucket on the front end. Then drives towards the employee parking lot and storage area that's not seen on the cameras. The tractor comes out to a dumpster to switch out the truck. Quiles hops out, goes to the truck, then gets back in the tractor, directing the driver to the back. The dumpster truck makes the switch, and Quiles leaves at about 2:45 p.m. Here's how the defense breaks down his movement on that day.
Wouldn't be uncommon for him to fill in several different positions. He's very talented, yes.
That wouldn't be abnormal whatsoever, him working with another employee on some project or a duty.
No, especially with our two-man process, it would be common.
Okay. And then I want to ask you about that vehicle that we saw him carrying, that red vehicle that we saw him carrying. So when he brings that vehicle, he's not also processing that vehicle, correct?
No, he isn't.
So when he drops that vehicle off, someone else is emptying out that vehicle of any garbage or trash or whatever the contents of the inside of that vehicle are, correct?
Yes, ma'am, yes. He wouldn't be moving and processing it. That would be odd.
The GM says he doesn't imagine how that car could be involved in this case because it was brought to their yard a week or less before police started their search. Take a listen to how the defense takes their points even further with this witness.
In that video, you never saw a young lady that was alleged to have been on your property, correct?
No, ma'am, I did not.
You never saw Mr. Quiles with a young lady on that property?
No, ma'am, I did not.
You never saw Mr. Quiles carrying what appeared to be a body?
No, ma'am, I did not.
You never saw him dumping anything that appeared to be a body or in a bag or anything along those lines into that 40-yard dumpster?
No, ma'am, I saw nothing like that.
That same line of questioning you just heard is the same line of questioning the defense has been using for many of the state's witnesses. Tom?
Marilyn, we were led to believe the prosecutors were going to play a recording of a 2-hour call between a jail informant and Quiles. What happened? Why didn't they do that today?
I think it ultimately came down to time. We went through a lot of witnesses today, and also the defense brought up how they found some inaccuracies within the transcript that would be given to jurors, basically saying that Quiles was identified as someone speaking in there when he actually was not speaking at all. Ultimately, they said they're going to go with that transcript as they're going to be able to argue it later. There's a chance we could hear it tomorrow, but there's also a long list of witnesses tomorrow, including Johnathan Quiles' ex-wife and possibly the recordings from that jail informant and the FDLE DNA analyst. So we'll see how that happens. Tom?
Thank you, Marilyn. Marilyn Parker reporting to us live from downtown.